We don't have a big crowd here tonight, but that's usually the case at football season. Is there any agenda additions or deletions? All right,
Under new business, could we just add a brief discussion about our hearing the other night? I'd just like to talk about a couple follow-up things, if that's okay with everybody.
You're talking a Grange meeting.
Yes, the meeting we had regarding the mapping.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Just a follow-up, and I'll make that a motion.
I'll second it.
Donnie seconded. He beat you, George.
Beat you,
Quicker
George.
than I am.
All right, motion made, seconded. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Don't hear it. All right, so,
George.
any other agenda additions or deletions? All right, approval of the last meeting minutes from May 28th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any comments? All right, no comments. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And that's done.
George.
All right,
Second one for you, George.
Highway Department, Road Commissioners Report.
There's one thing of, I got, what, 3 things here,
Yeah,
4 things. In replacing the 20-ton pedal hitch trailer, the old one, permission to put it on Marketplace or whatever,
try to sell it.
try to sell it and get our money, recoup our costs back out of it. Eddie would pay for that, 2,000 or 2,500, something like that, if I remember right. I think it was 25. And I'm thinking, well, that's 35 and see if we can get close to 25.
See what we can get out of it.
Never know.
Better shape than the one you got tanked on?
Actually not. Actually not.
I'll make a motion to authorize the road commissioner to.
Second.
And then when I get bids on it with next meeting, we can see what the results were. The other thing is,
Let me work on that motion. Motion made, seconded. Any other comments on that? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, next.
second of all, the new enclosed trailer that we just set up for our sign packages, stop lights and stuff. I kind of like to put Town of Clarendon stickers on it, just for in case it gets borrowed one night or something and it's kind of obvious to see it.
Seems reasonable.
And doing that, the Western Star, that one door that got damaged a little bit, needs a re-stickered, which is no.
So you're gonna have somebody paint it on, or
No,
do
we-
we have stickers?
Heidi, we work with Awesome Graphics or somebody like that, I think, if I remember right.
Yep, either that green screen.
Green
solid,
screen or something.
Yeah.
Any idea what we're talking?
Price?
I
I-
haven't
this is
priced
first
it or
time
nothing.
hearing
Is there?
I
mean,
feel-
we've got funds available,
I mean,
right?
maybe 300 or something, I don't know.
I'll
300, I would say.
I'll make a motion that we just get it done.
You wanna put a ceiling on it or anything?
Did you second that, Donnie?
Well,
The trailer can probably get somewhat expensive, so I mean, I guess
I mean, I would.
even if it was up to $1,000 or something, I know that's going to be high, but that would just give you plenty of ceiling that
You
you
wanna
could
add
get the
that to the
door.
motion?
that's a big,
I'll make that a motion up to $1,000.
Second.
it's a big
All
ceiling.
right,
Yep.
first and seconded by
I would,
George.
like, I heard Eddie say something about having maybe reflectors on the,
Trailer.
on the trailer.
There's
Yep, we,
You know, like the state troopers have with, on the side of their car, that.
It's just reflective
reflective
decals.
decal.
yeah, we're gonna put them on the little tape. Are you talking about the running
No, I mean
tape?
the letters themselves,
red, white stuff.
or the letters. You know,
Like
we
on
had
the
them on the
back.
McCurtain trucks for a while, they, you know, in the yellow color, they were reflective.
They reflect.
Yeah.
No power, just the reflection itself.
It was a reflective sticker, like it had a sparkle to it. You know, when the light shined on it,
Right.
it would light it up.
Just make sure that's
Right,
going to
it's almost like the linear stakes we have side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the lights hit it or something, it flags.
Yep.
If you look at the DOT law, trailer door should have, it looks like a letter L.
Something.
It actually, all four
Yep.
corners,
Yeah,
that's a requirement. And then that reflective striping, you buy that by the roll, it's cheap.
That's what we,
That red, white stuff.
yep,
deletions,
that's what we're
so
planning on putting on there.
perfect. That'll show up forever.
I'm pretty sure it's within his purchase threshold anyways.
Yeah.
You got something to work, a more comment on that, or? Did you vote on it?
no, not yet.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I was waiting to see.
Was
if
there a
the-
second?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
George
was?
seconded.
Okay. Just making sure.
All right, there was motion made, seconded. We've had some discussion. Any other discussion on that? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right,
Okay, the last meeting, we're talking about just a brief thing right now. I don't wanna open up a big thing here, but about the brine tank. He got back with me, from Viking about setting up the little truck with a brine tank, and actually got a picture of it here. He recommended going with like a 550 gallon poly tank, and then on the back there's a spray barn pump, and we're looking at this one here. The price not on here, but it's like $4,800, $5,000. So we can look at that in the future.
Want to pass this around?
Just
What's the lead? I mean, obviously, shouldn't be much of a lead time.
no. Actually, that tank we can buy ourselves, and
Yeah.
they can.
Is that the biggest tank you could put on the back of that truck for the weight?
it's a
Or do you want to
one-ton.
go with something,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well, the other thing is, it's going to take 2 loads to do all the roads, and that would do it.
Okay, so one tank
And-
wouldn't,
And I haven't got into too much more for weight wise and stuff like that, and if what's available above that size. So this is
I
just
mean,
a-
you wouldn't want to go much over that in the 1 ton anyway. I don't think weight wise.
Well, it's 8 pounds to gallon. So better with brine, probably want to think about 9,
9 or 10.
just to be safe.
10,
So 500.
50 times.
Yeah.
You're looking at 5,500 pounds.
So
That's
I,
enough for
Well,
the back
about
of that
2 and
truck.
almost 3 ton.
Yeah, that's a lot
That's
of weight.
plenty.
Consider.
And this is something, we can get in more depth down.
I was
the
gonna
road.
say, we got
This is
time.
just a starter.
just a starting point.
Yep. That was just an informational thing. And our next discussion about Quarterline Road with issues with trees hanging over the road and into the road, and landowners
Have you seen that?
don't want them turned back. So we're wrecking our equipment, mirrors and stuff, and grader and whatnot.
Uh,
And this is only a small section of road of one particular resident.
we did some research, today on that.
Pictures in front of you.
Yeah. So we did some research,
Anybody like to see it?
so that we can, if we talk to the individual that has this issue,
Recognize where it is? Okay.
tree removal and all that, did you see this,
Take
Cass?
Sit down.
No, I haven't.
All right.
This is my first right here.
Vermont statutes online, and what it says, I can read it briefly. The legislative body of the municipality, if necessary, shall cause to be cut and burned or removed from within the limits of the highway under its care trees and bushes that obstruct the view of the highway ahead, or that cause damage to the highway, or that are objectionable from a material or scenic standpoint. Trees that have been, this is tree and brush removal. Trees that have been set out or marked by budding landowners, and shade trees that have been designated pursuant to 24 VSA Chapter 67 shall be preserved if the usefulness or safety of the highway is not impaired. So young trees standing at a proper distance from the roadbed and from each other, and banks and hedges of bushes that serve as protection to the highway or add beauty to the roadside shall be preserved. On state highways, the secretary shall have the same authority as the legislative body.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
Is the objection to cutting period, or is the objection to using the roadside mower to cut back?
That's roadside mower to trim back and not, I mean, take the tree, and I get it, it's a dust line for when that road gets dusty, because dirt road, for protection with dust and stuff like that, and I get that. It's my opinion, right now, I don't know where it's gonna go down the road, but for right now, just trim right down through so that the limbs aren't hitting the grader, the truck, payloader.
Have you had that discussion at all yet with the landowner?
We've been ongoing over the years with this about
Well, I know,
trimming back.
but again, the issue, to my knowledge, has been, and I kind of understand it. I mean, the roadside mower, when you use it on its side, kind of thrashes and crashes. It doesn't. It looks rough. So, if you have the suggestion that, listen, we're going to come up with the chipper and we're going to actually just trim limbs back and use them through the chipper
Do it all with pulse on.
and do it with the pole saw and do it that way, is the landowner amenable to that, or have we not asked that
We
question?
haven't asked. I haven't been there yet with this.
We wanted to discuss it with the full
We
board.
wanted to discuss. I wanted to discuss with
Because
the full
to
board.
to me, that seems like a reasonable suggestion to see if that's amenable, so we don't have World War III.
Right, right. And I totally get, being a landowner, I totally understand where they're at with it. It's the hang over tree limbs and stuff like that.
You're really looking at the ones that are coming over and
Yes.
clipping stuff.
And to take all those trees down there, there's hundreds of trees down through there.
A lot of
And it's
trees.
not gonna gain us nothing, because that means you cut them down, you might as well stump the whole thing, and it's gonna open up everything to their property. And I don't see it.
Doesn't the town have the right of way for like, is it 1 rod or 3 yards?
That's actually a 4-rod road,
Four-rod road.
Four
over there.
rod road.
Yeah, it's pretty
28, right?
wide.
64 feet
Total.
total.
So you, okay.
Because that's a military road.
Actually, a little more than that.
Exactly.
If you haven't noticed where he has mowed that over the years, that kind of fills itself right in behind it. Actually it actually makes a good perimeter, and if you look
It's
north
thicker.
of it, where Piers is, that's actually filled in. Hard to see the house and stuff like that.
Hardly
So
see it.
mowing it actually does it more good than not.
It's thicker,
It makes it thicker,
thicker.
Ken,
like a hedge.
I mean, George, you live up there. I mean, is it possible to approach the two of you, go up and have a conversation and see
Oh,
where
I'd
it
be
goes,
happy to do that, sure.
and just start there?
I'm thinking that she's scared that we're gonna go right in and harvest everything out.
Well, and that way, having that conversation will prevent, make it clear that, listen, we're just really talking about the branches that are overhanging.
And then you, also this property of the same landowner on Schoolhouse Road that worried about the invasive species when we're mowing.
But here's,
Poison parsnip gets spread.
And
but,
that's why with mowing right now, the poison parsnip hasn't gone to seed yet.
right,
Yeah.
And
You're
we're
getting
go-
it before.
We're getting it before.
but if
And
you
control
have, George wanna stop there, I don't mind stopping either. But the thing is, if George wants to go there, you should have cash
People.
with him.
Well, that's why
Oh,
I'm
that's
saying.
good.
I was suggesting to start with. It's a little less daunting to have all 5 board members go and
Right,
have
I-
it might, the two of you go up
Sure.
and see where you get,
Yep.
and if
Go
we
from
have
there.
to then involve the whole board, we involve the board after that.
I just wanted to bring the whole board up to speed of what,
Right, but let me read this, Cash. Class 3 highways. A town must keep Class 3 highways in good and sufficient repair during all seasons of the year. In addition, the minimum standards for Class 3 highways are a highway negotiable under normal conditions all seasons of the year by a standard manufactured pleasure car. This would include, but not be limited to, sufficient surface and base, adequate drainage, and sufficient width capable to provide winter maintenance. If a town fails, now this is the part that I want to stress. If a town fails to properly maintain a Class 3 highway, the Vermont Transportation Board may require the town to return all state aid generated by that portion of the highway. This is state laws.
Okay, make comment on that. That's not a state aid road.
But it's Class 3.
Yes, but
And if you read that,
we don't, that sounds like to me it's only for state aid roads that
Where
they
we're
put
getting the
back.
money.
Yeah,
when,
Maintain.
and that's the tar roads only.
but when Norm did that, we got help from the state. Some money was,
Oh, really?
yes.
Well,
Right, Bob?
I'll go ahead
Remember
and
when
make,
we did that? Before even Norm even started doing any of that stuff, we had the state come down and they said they'd assist because it's supposed to be a Class 3 road, and but then it was only Class 4 trail.
Yeah, that was only class 4 at that point.
I'll make a motion that we ask Selectman Ambrose and Selectman Ruane to have a conversation, and if we need to involve the whole board after that, we can do
Bring this
so,
stuff
but
with you.
Yep.
to have the two of them go up and have a conversation.
Sure.
And if we,
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, for discussion, go ahead.
if we come to conclusion of be able to do
I think, put that with you.
what
Yeah.
we'd like to
Got it.
do,
Yep.
however we do it,
Yeah, I got it.
I'd almost think be on the select board's behalf to draft up a letter explaining that and have it signed off by the landowner, so we don't have no conflict.
Yeah. No, I don't-
After the
And
discussion.
I don't, there's no reason that, Kim can't go with you and take notes. I mean, that's, you can do that. Absolutely.
Sure. We can do, we'll get it done.
Okay.
Soon? Rather than later, do you have any expectation of what time you might want to get it?
Work it out.
to you.
We'll figure it out. If you were talking an hour or something like that, then it depends on her availability, too.
Not a big
Their
deal.
availability.
Cash will always bring donuts, so I'm happy.
I have confidence in you,
Joe.
gentlemen.
All right, so the motion made, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I didn't hear from you, Rob.
I said aye.
Yeah, I guess I had a quick question on that before we leave it. That guy back there with the hat in the last row. When you're going by there with your truck that you pick up sap with it, is that a bother with the branches and stuff? Yeah, that's
Hitting it with mowing done.
yeah, that's what I
Up through
figured.
there. Like I said, it's,
Yep.
we got a right of way mowing.
Anyways, thank you. Just thought I'd ask.
So when somebody shoots at you when you go by next, Ed, it's because I mentioned your name. Yeah, me too. But it was,
Once, right?
yeah, that's another story. All right, approval of select board warrants.
They're down there.
Oh, all right.
Cash is playing with him right
So
now.
we'll pass that around. Do we have any guests tonight? Public comments, any public comments?
I wanted to see what part of the Quarterline road you were talking about, because I was like, you guys cleaned our trees out like 15, 20 years ago, I wouldn't,
It's between Schoolhouse and Paul Austin Road.
yeah.
Well, my wife is very pleased with the flowers that are showing up on the side of road from time to time. Just thought I'd mention it.
Very pleased to see the
In fact, we
flowers.
have to stop sometimes to check them out, so.
All right,
And there's no poison parsnip in that section, correct? Of yours?
If there is, I take care of it.
Thank you.
all right, new business, financial management questionnaire, town and cities to be signed.
Is that just by you?
It's a boilerplate.
Yeah,
It's the,
Do every year.
is it just the chairman though? It's a yearly deal, right?
that's this one, right?
I think it's
Yeah.
what,
It's
one
basically,
signature.
it's a survey that I have to fill out as the treasurer each year, and file with you guys, have you guys look it over, approve it. Basically asks questions, about financials and financial control. Like, does the person who is the check signer also reconcile the bank account? No, those kinds of questions.
Yeah, and it's just me that signs it. I see your name here, Heidi.
I'll make a motion that the board chairman sign that on behalf of the board.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Done. All right. Financial report from FEMA, reimbursement to be signed.
Yep, so this is an updated FEMA reimbursement form. Originally, the cost share was going to be 75% federal funding, and they upped that to 90%. So the reimbursement form that we're asking you to sign is for the difference. We had already been reimbursed 75%, but because they've upped that to 90%, that's for the difference.
So we're entitled to another 15, is that what you're saying?
Yes. It's like $1,000, a little over
It's
$1,000.
1,006, isn't it?
Yeah.
Make a motion that we again authorize the board chairman to sign that on behalf of the board.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Anyone opposed? Letter to the legislature to be signed. You want to speak to that, Rob?
I can read it if we want to read it, as long as I think we read it last meeting, but
Yeah, just for the record.
this is for the record for the update of the letter with the grammatical fixes that we needed to do since last meeting. So this is dear the legislative delegation. This is regarding the law filling vacancies for a unified school district. We, the Clarendon Board of Selectmen, wish to make you aware of the recent issue that we hope can be worked on in the next legislative session. School board vacancies have been an ongoing problem, as currently the statute rests the appointing powers on school boards themselves. This first became a concern when we had a vacancy during COVID. At this time, no requirement existed for the school board to even consult with the town elected officials with regards to whom they felt should be considered. Since that time, there has been an addendum to the statute which requires the school boards to consult with the towns. It is our belief that the legislative intent was for the addendum to rectify the problem, making way for the school boards to take town elected officials' recommendations and appoint the person or people they have recommended. This issue has recently reoccurred. The school board followed statute with the consultation of the Board of Selectmen, but then promptly rejected the select board's recommendation. This means that the school board's representatives of 3 neighboring towns overruled our town's elected officials and who they felt should best represent them on the Union School Board, not elected by the voters of the town of Clarendon. This raises serious concern in our minds regarding the issue of local control. We would like to call on the legislature to put more power in the statute for select boards to appoint the representatives to school board vacancies in their apportioned town seats. Currently on our local school board, this is not the case. We urge the legislature to act so that this issue does not affect us or any other town in our state again. And it's already been voted on, so we're just signing it tonight.
Okay. All right, law enforcement contract to be signed.
Is the dollar amount good?
We have consistently been under budget for that total amount, so as long as that continues to be the case, then it should be fine.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
I've already signed that one.
Okay, and that is,
Here. Oh, do you have the pen? You have the pen.
that's the law enforcement one, right? So I'm looking at, all right, so all of us have to sign that, so you want to add that in there?
Yeah, I just did a general motion to approve, so if we all sign it.
Okay, and
Yep.
it's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Go that way.
Okay.
All right, mowing contracts. I would like to have Kevin speak to that a little bit. Or a lot,
It's not as heavy as
depending.
it used to be.
Nope, it's not.
This last meeting, they've been out and about. Apparently, my understanding is a member of the Johnson family came in here with the letter that had been sent, I did not speak with that person.
Mm-hmm.
But they have been out and about. The cemetery's looking better. The refuse, the leaf refuse down here in this corner is yet to be removed. I requested that, like I said, April 2nd. I reiterated it May 12th. It's still down there, so we've still got 2 more weeks before the next select board's in 2 weeks, and then the July contract starts shortly after that. I don't think we've signed off on the new contract.
No, that's what's on our
Agenda.
That's what if we're either tabling it for another 2 weeks or signing tonight.
Right.
So
I would table it.
I'll make the motion that we do that.
I'll second that.
All right.
And I'll let them know such that it's been tabled. And, you know, I informed them, you know, last time that the meeting was, going to be on the select board agenda, and they, you know, what time the meeting was, that they were welcome to come. So they haven't come. But
You're
she
gonna
did
reiterate that they have to pick up all that leaves and stuff.
Right, the last time, May 13th I did, 12th or 13th.
Mm-hmm.
They hadn't even started mowing yet.
I signed that one too.
The thing of it is when they did start mowing Chippenhook on, let's see, 11, 12, it's like the 15th or 16th of May, 2 days later, the ball field got mowed for the 3rd time. So, you know, yet they were just hitting Chippenhook for the first time. So, I mean, weather's been a factor. I agree that a lot of things, weather, but apparently, you know, everybody else seems to have been able to work around the weather and get things done.
The other thing that we do, so there's technically 2 of these, and we just tabled the cemetery mowing, but I would make a motion because we do have the rec fields, which they are pleased with their service. So I would make a motion that the board chairman sign on behalf of the board the transfer station and the rec fields contract, which is this one.
So,
Is that different people?
It is 2 different people.
quick question. So George motioned to table the cemetery mowing contract. Robert, you seconded, but the motion was never, or the
Carried.
was never called. The
Okay,
vote was
so
never
we've got
called.
Has it?
Okay, so okay,
I also have,
All right.
so we got to call that motion.
All right. So all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
This is for the
this is on
motion
table.
on the
That's for tabling
Tabling.
table.
cemeteries.
Yes.
Right. So
I know. Aye.
Alright.
I think we got it.
Now I'll make a motion that we have the board chairman sign the transfer station and the rec fields mowing contracts.
Second.
I have,
is there any further discussion?
I haven't heard a second yet.
No.
Or can we-
I did.
You did. George
George
did.
said yeah.
Thank you.
I gotta speak louder. I'm generally loud.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That's the rec field. And the transfer station is this beauty. All right, the Greens meeting?
I just had a couple comments, and the rest of the board can chime in. But I did see the feedback that Kim gave to the RRPC specific to the map and the changes that needed to be made. However, what was not communicated in that letter was the displeasure of our townspeople. That was, in my opinion, an overwhelming majority of the people that were in the room were not pleased with the overreach of the state and how this whole thing's going down. I know that within 24 hours of that meeting, we had to get our feedback on the map in, but I feel very strongly, and I'm we can have some discussion, but I'm prepared to make an motion tonight that we need to draft a letter to the RRPC, but also to the legislature, passing along our citizens' thoughts on that, because I think it was very clearly communicated to us how they felt, and I think it's on us to help give them voice to what they brought our way. So I am going to make a motion that we draft a letter to the RRPC and the legislature, at least our
I was
delegation,
gonna say,
with regards to the nature of, and we can work on what that final draft looks like maybe for next meeting, but I would like a letter to get drafted to those entities. And I know Shelley's got her hand up, but
Yes.
If you go to the RRPC website right now, there's a place for public input, and there's all kinds of boxes that you can type stuff into.
yeah, well, that's
Exactly that.
that's on our citizens to do that, which
Right.
absolutely, but I think to give like
From the select board.
emphasis from the select board, we need to go on record. So-
I don't have any objection to that idea. I think if I understood, I had a brief conversation with Kim today in terms of her putting together the notes that all of the notes that she took that meeting that would be helpful in terms of that project. And I did suggest to her that on the message that she sent in to put the statement that several people were trying to suggest that we withdraw from the regional.
absolutely.
So I asked her to put that in.
That absolutely needs to be in there. I think there's lots of things in there. So yeah. So if there is a second to my motion,
I'll second it.
I would ask that.
All right, and do you want a timeline, just for the record?
As
Say
possible.
by next meeting?
I would say if we can finalize something for next meeting, that would be appropriate. Because they're really not going to, based on what my understanding of the timeline was, they're not going to really chew on this until it sounds like July is going to be a big processing month for this.
Sounds like it.
So if we can get it in, for early July, I think that's, in 2 weeks, that's plenty of time to get it where it needs to go.
George, you seconded that.
I did.
Do you agree with the addition?
Sure.
Okay. Any further discussion? You gonna,
We all got the letter from the Regional Planning Commission, right, of their new town plan that they've got a draft of. Did you see that?
I didn't
Or
see.
maybe it was from John. It's 400 pages long.
400?
Yeah. Well, I didn't go through all 400. I saw there was 400 on the computer.
Word.
And,
It's a book.
yeah,
What's 400 pages?
the
The re-
Rutland's Regional
The
Planning
new
Commission.
regional plan draft.
Now, there could be some stuff in the back that's, I didn't get to
the scary thing,
I
and
read the first 20 pages or so.
this is my last comment I'll make, and we can call the motion. But the scary thing is if you look at these plans, it's not so much necessarily maybe the plan itself that scares you. I would venture to say, and I don't know, you'd have to look at it, how many pages of definitions are in the back of the plan?
That's what I was wondering about.
And the definitions are what will terrify you, because they pigeonhole
Yeah, I know.
everything, and that is, I still will remain a proponent of, I understand that pulling out of the RRPC has its consequences, but I, as one person sitting here, I've said it for years, and I still think that might be something we really need to seriously talk about.
I don't know, I think I'm sitting in the same seat you're in.
I think that everybody in that room is in the same seat.
Yeah.
Didn't hear
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't hear what he said.
That I'm still, and I have been for years.
That's,
Oh, Donnie said the
I
same
mean,
thing.
I think that everybody that went to that meeting last Wednesday had the same opinion as
Yep.
any one of us.
Yep.
But you have to look at what does the town lose?
Correct.
That's the thing.
That's
and
the question.
I've spoke with John McKenna about
A
that.
good first
And
step.
before we start bowing out of anything, we've got to see what we will lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And one of the first phone calls, I think, it should be to Pittsfield. Pittsfield's the one that I think pulled out. Is my
They're not part of the planning commission.
Pittsfield
regional.
pulled out. Yep, and it might be a call to that select board or that town office and be like, hey, what changed when you did it? What happened?
Well, it was all the communities got together initially to form this, and now they're pulling the
More than
reins
they
on the
should.
horse. So now it's time for us to say, well, I think I'll dismount, because
Well, or maybe it's time to, maybe there's a group of towns that want to form their own thing.
That's very possible, I would think. Why not?
And then find somebody to run it though.
that's the thing.
That's,
They can't. run it.
they're all getting federal money to run it, so don't you point in my direction.
All
It's
right,
federal money that runs it, so
there's,
federal and state.
Let's do the vote.
yeah, motion on the floor. No more comments. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. All right, is there any other old business that anybody wants?
Wait just a minute. Why do you look at me every time you say old business?
I wasn't gonna say anything, George.
No, he finally realized the point. Not a,
Because he couldn't say new business, he knew not to look over here.
Oh dear.
all right, town officers and committee member report. Heidi, do you have anything?
I've provided you all with an updated budget status. So as we're headed into the end of the fiscal year here, you can see exactly where we're at. There's a few things to please note on there. For instance, the interest on investments. That's our banking interest. That'll get allocated. Right now, it's all sitting in the general fund on this budget sheet. So that'll get allocated out to our different funds as appropriate. I prorate them. But if you have any questions, certainly shoot them my way. I'm happy to help answer. And if anybody from the public wants to see these, you're more than welcome.
I think it's notable to note that the transfer station is already up.
Yes, I'm quite.
That's
I'm very pleased with that.
it's not,
myself.
huge, but I mean, it's significant enough. It's
Yes.
Positive.
it's positive. It's in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Can you share that number with us?
So we had budgeted 11, and it's actually over 15 as of right now. So that tells me the steps we took since April have had a good effect.
And that's
I
why
can
since
tell
April.
you that as of last week, in the 2 months that since the changes have taken place, we have done about $3,000 in revenue a month over at the transfer station, where the previous, 8 months total for those months was $8,000 total. So it's a big difference.
We're in the right direction.
And the guys working over there are being really proactive.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Up to and including the older gentlemen.
And I think that a lot of credit goes to Horse being on the ball.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's good.
He's doing, well, I appreciate you going over there a lot, George, and cracking the whip.
Well, I just show up to give them a little moral support or whatever you want to call it.
Well, when it's mentioned that there's a possibility we could even close it down now, sudden.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
That does make a difference.
Obviously, right now things are looking very positive as far as the bottom line and where we had budgeted originally to dip into the fund balance. I know there's a lot to happen in the next 15 days, but
Some pretty good bills yet to come in, Robert. So we still have the majority of the month to go. So we'll see
Okay.
where we land. If I know that we budgeted to reduce the fund balance by $100,000, that would also put us in the position where if you were to budget going forward, you would not be able to reduce the fund balance at all, because we'd be at the base of where we're supposed to be sitting for a healthy fund balance. So if we at least take it to a budgeted balance, net revenue and expense to zero, I'd be really happy with that. If there's anything to the positive, I'll be coming to the board to ask you, rather than adding to that fund balance, I'll be asking you if you'd like to move whatever is in the positive to either the equipment fund or some to the building fund or something of that nature.
to keep
So
us
that-
at zero.
Yeah, and knowing that those funds are not, they're not fully funded. So we know our equipment fund is not fully funded, to handle the turnover, of the equipment at this point. So, and likewise with building fund.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
but that's, a lot can change in a couple weeks, so.
Kevin, do you have anything you wanna throw at us?
No.
Okay, you're doing good.
We've got 3 days left to our grievance period on the preliminary grand list. Thursday's the hearings. I mean, anybody who wants to come in
Yeah.
before the 6th. Of course, that was warned and posted around the town, and so far we've only had one person come to us. They made an appointment. Other than that, everything's going well.
Well, that bodes well.
You guys are doing a good job, both over there and
Follow along, Bob.
also good job on cemeteries.
Yeah,
Being
absolutely.
Very proactive,
They look real good.
yeah. Haven't looked that good
Stones and all.
in many years, so. Kim, do you have anything you wanna throw at us?
I do not.
I have a question for,
Sure.
we had a brief discussion today. Did I understand you were working on some of the notes that we took from the Grange meeting? All of them or something?
Yes, I finalized them and I shot them over to John McKenna just to get his input if he needed to make any changes to what I had written before I send it to the select board.
Okay, thank you. That's what I thought, because that's what I told folks tonight, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, select board member concerns. Cash, do you have any?
There's one thing I wanted to add, that up on Colton Road by Al Nicky's Pit at the Rutland Town line, that got ground. And, the base coat got put down.
Yeah, I see that.
And then in the future, he's gonna lay the final coat down. We're actually gonna go all the way from the town line and go across the bridge. And blend it all in. The bridge is starting to see a little bit wear.
Do you have a timeline for that?
No. Weather related to, and as is with projects.
You mean your little rain stopped you?
Not me,
You lay that tire down.
I know.
it was a tire truck.
Yep.
Is there any other blacktop
Yeah.
report that you want to talk about for any of our roads? Any update?
No, we're hoping, sometime in July, we're gonna get marked out, and we're gonna start with, Squares Road.
Squares Road, okay.
And that'll be all on the town, that was voted in with it.
George, you have anything?
Yes, I do. I was gonna talk about, we have, we mutually agreed that we're gonna get together with our road crew sometime in the future. I would propose that our next board meeting, that we might wanna have a discussion in preparation for that.
In executive session?
Yes, in
Yes.
executive session.
Obviously.
So that's all I had on that. And then I did have one other thing. I was gonna share with you the story about the duck. Have I done that with anybody? Well, there was a duck that was about ready to cross the road, and this chicken came running up and said, "No, no, don't do that, don't do that. You'll never get over all that they put you through afterwards." So there you are.
I have nothing after that. I'm speechless. Rob?
So I had not had a chance to read it until a couple weeks ago, but well, in the last week, I got past some information, and I don't know where if this board would want to do anything with it, with some concerns, I should say, that were passed over with regards to the solid waste district, and some of the things that have been apparently going on.
At that location? Is that what you
Well, within the board and within some of the things,
Oh, I
and,
see what you're
and of
saying.
course we have a representative who sits on that board.
said? Yes, yes.
And I don't know if it might be appropriate for us to invite that individual to come here and have a sit down with us, and maybe we should have a conversation. Some of the items that I was made privy to, I don't necessarily think are public items, so it might need to be an executive session type deal just because of privacy type
Yep.
things going on. But I don't know. I wanted to bring that to the rest of the board to find out if we want to do anything or if we want to wait and see what happens. Usually, they're off in the summer until, for a while anyway. And I don't know if that's the case right now or not. Usually they take at least a couple months off in the summertime. So, I just bring it to your attention. It was just a mutual person that I know that also sits on the board from another town and said, hey, you guys in Clarendon might want to sit up and take notice that there's some things going on that maybe we need to be aware of. And that's all. That's where it went from there. So,
I have no objections if we want to do that.
but again, privacy type things, it might need to be
Yep,
executive
exactly.
session to have some discussion.
Well, we can be in executive session if whatever information is there can be detrimental to
Correct.
Public entities.
So,
public interest.
Yeah. Well,
I guess in that case, if everybody's good with it, we probably should have Kim invite our representative
Sure.
to come, maybe to our, whether it's the next meeting or if you want. There's no pressing nature to it, so if you want to wait till first meeting in July, since we're going to do something with the road next meeting anyway, we could wait till July, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, if in fact they're gone for 2 months, but we're mostly concerned with our representative, so yeah, I think that would be fine.
July.
Yeah,
yeah.
So first meeting in July.
yeah.
I'm good with that. That's all I have.
Donnie?
I don't have anything.
So moved.
All those in favor?